Hello, everybody. My name is Diana. I am web accessibility specialist, and on everyday basis, I provide audits, work with the clients in order to train them and explain what is web accessibility and how to become more accessible, not just for the website, but also for the apps, PDF documents, and anything digital. And just like many other web accessibility specialists, I really have this dream to see very accessible websites, like 100% accessible in reality, like in usage. And I found a very interesting article just several days ago about one of the most accessible websites by WebAIM. And I will show you the article and we will check whether this webpage is really accessible. So if you are interested, I will just share my screen with you. I hope it's gonna work. Yes, so I hope you can see it on the screen. So this is the article that I saw that there is University of Utah in the US, and it has a homepage that ranks in WebAIM's top 5% for accessibility. So it sounds very exciting, and I was very curious to see, so what is this web page? Is it really so accessible? And the most important thing is not just to see how it goes or to be proud for people who created such a web page, but also to see which elements they use, how exactly they use it, what makes it so accessible in order to use this practice for the clients, for other websites, for the apps, so that we can really share this accessible experience. And so in the article, you can see that there was just this year the WebAIM Million report. If you didn't see it yet, I very much advise to take a look. So every year they check 1 million most visited homepages on the web, and they make a ranking. And based on this, so we know that approximately 96% of worldwide websites contain accessibility issues. This is a huge percentage. So most probably when you open a web page, it contains problems for people with disabilities and literally for everybody, even if you are just a mother who is tired or you're using your phone, opening this web page outside under the like in the sunny day when it's a bright light, and many other things. So it's really web accessibility is for everybody to make this experience better for everybody. And here, so what was really interesting for me to see is that we can see a path. In this article, you can see that the homepage of this University of Utah had, like, it was ranked on number 400,000. So like if they checked 1 million of web pages, so they were quite in the middle, so quite inaccessible, I would say. But then over the years, like within 7 years, they became in top 5%, like placed around like 22,000, which is very good. So I was really curious to see what it is. And I also saw the information that, so they found almost 1,000 page elements. So that's quite a lot. And so the web page is not so simple, like it has images, carousels, videos most probably, and like 1,000, that's a big number. And accessibility errors detected, it's 0. So even if, and it's important, and I will show you in the article where they say how exactly they checked. So they used Wave accessibility testing tools. So if you didn't use it before, there is Wave accessibility tool that help you to check accessibility of each web page. But it's important to remember, even if Wave is a very useful and interesting tool, it can give you information about around 30% of accessibility issues in general, because every tool, automatic tool, has limitations. We cannot just rely on it to tell, yes, this website is accessible. because just it cannot do all the tests. It cannot check all the requirements, all the parameters, and only human being, a web accessibility specialist, or the person who really knows deeply, like for example, a trained specialist in the company can do this, can really go through all the parameters. And that's what we're gonna do today. We will provide an express check, but express check with me as the human being, as a web accessibility specialist. So we will go a little bit more deep into taking a look at this webpage and to see, is it really so accessible as WebAIM is saying? So I will just open the webpage. I will show you how it looks. I hope you can see it. I will just check if my screen is showing you. Yes, it seems like I'm sharing, so that I'm sharing this screen. Okay, because sometimes the tab and the web page is not shown really. It stays on the previous one. So I just want to be sure, as I cannot hear you during making this video. So I'm happy that you can see it. So I'm right now here on the newest version. So I will just be sure below the web page, just to be sure that this is the latest one. And we will take a look at it. So first thing first, before we try to apply some tools on this webpage, some extensions that can help us to understand better, first, let's just take a look at this webpage from top to bottom, just like as a user. Do we understand everything? Is everything like in the place? Can we read? Like maybe there's already small font, maybe there's something not logical, some problems already scrolling. Just first impression. It's really important to first test it just with your eyes, if you can see, as a user. Or of course, if we are talking about users who are blind or have a visual impairment, then they can just scan it with the tools that they use, like a screen reader or something else, assistive technologies. So whatever you use as a user, without just something, not testing with any special tools, just it's important to get a first impression. And I see there's a video, and it took some, like, I think within 10 seconds for it to download. So I would say it's like, I hope that it's just because of the internet. Like I also have some black screen like on this video, but the font is big. I see that the menu here, the in the bar, like navigation menu is uh, has white bold text on black. It's also important to remember that we need to avoid bold text. If it's used too much, it's not good. Like we need to think about mental cognitive load, and the bold text is not, it's really working too much on our cognitive load, so we need to use it carefully. But here, like I love that already, just like applying the focus on the first element, I see clearly like where I am. It become white, red with the background, and we can go through everything. Like this is really nice. This is just one thing, but I like it. So here we see a carousel, so I can scroll, and it's working, at least with the mouse. Of course, I will check it with the keyboard as well. But here I see that there is a button, big button, which is good. And when I put my cursor on it, so the background becomes darker, which is also great, because usually when there is a focus, sometimes the color becomes lighter. So it's actually much harder to see, okay, I put the focus, but what's written on it, because the color contrast ratio becomes smaller. So it's harder to read it. Here, I would say it's quite good. And the videos, it can be seen that the brightness is reduced. So we can read much more with such videos, such background. This is great. And I love, of course, that, oh my God, that there is a button to post slides. This is awesome. I remember I was working on one website to help them with accessibility, and it's so hard when the carousel with the videos and the images with the text on it. It's very complex structure, and it's really hard to add this button and make it work. So here it's working, and it has good color contrast, and it has a text. I love it. I truly love it. So here we see that there are images. I don't understand a little bit how it works. Wait, so here it's working, but I cannot really scroll. Like I don't understand a little bit this part, because I thought that I can press at least, but nothing is working. I'm trying right now to use my mouse to just go left, right, but it doesn't go. So the first thing that I see that is not logical, so like there is the beginning of some car care, but I cannot read it, so the image is stuck. I would say it's accessibility problem, that's for sure. And I don't see, there are no errors, like I cannot move to read it. This is the problem, that's for sure. I thought that first maybe that's because I post, but it's only post for the carousel. It's not for later section. So this is the problem. Here we see another section about campus, news and events. This is good. Oh, by the way, the focus is not working really here. So sorry, I just went up because I was like, why we cannot even see where we are on which image. This is also not so good. But so here we have focus, even though it's a little bit, for me, the second thing that I can mention that is not logical is that you see that we see that it's a link. So there is a text with the so there is a line under, like we see that in design way is designed as a link, which is great, but when we put the focus on it, the design changes, and we just see the text. I mean, I would prefer it just to become like bigger, but to have the same design, because it doesn't make sense that when we put the focus, it stopped looking like a link. But anyway, it is the way it is. Here there are 3 extra images, and I see that the focus is there, but even though it's very slight. So here it's more slight about the latest news. Here I like that the background becomes darker on the bottom when we put the focus on it. This is great. Get to know so quick facts about the University of Utah. I like it. I like this section that even though it's not clickable, I like that I see where I am, so I can move between the elements. I know where it is. So here is some animation with moving colors. According to what I know, it's good that they're not moving fast, they're not flashing elements, which really not good for people with autism, for cognitive load. But here, for example, we cannot stop animation. Like, I mean, it's a little bit like we arrive on the web page, and in the beginning, it's just the best. Like we see this video, we see this amazing magical button to pause the slides, like a huge button, read the announcement, like so this is important for people, for example, with Parkinson disease, when the hands they're shaking and it's hard to put the focus on because it's moving all the time. I mean, this looks amazing, and the there are errors, everything is working. But then as soon as we go a little bit lower, I found several illogical things for me from user perspective. And there is no button here for animation. I would prefer them to have it everywhere. Everywhere where there is moving content, whether it's video or just colors. Okay, but so social media. This is the section about social media with the videos. I like that it's not going automatically on. And that's it. I like that they don't put too much sometimes, like especially for the web pages with news. Oh my God. It's just uploading everything, and it's impossible to find footer. There were multiple web pages that I checked that behaved like this. But here it's very good. So like the way how the in the navigation menu it's working, so when we put the focus, you see that the background color is changing to red one, and we see that just it's here. Then we saw then in one section we have we have the design of the link, and it disappears when actually we put the focus on it, which is not logical. But here it's opposite, so we have three different designs for the focus elements, which is completely opposite. Like for example, here, like on opposite, when we put the cursor on it, it start to look like a link, which shouldn't be. It's like if you already use that design, like you just think about how it should look, the clickable elements. It shouldn't be so different, like literally different design for the same for the same function, for the elements with the same function. But I like that there are limited numbers, like it's not too long, so this is good. This is for sure a little bit too gray, but never mind. I think it looks quite good. There are several logical things, but overall, I like how it looks. And I didn't see so much problem with the color contrast. Okay, so now we will try to take a look with Wave. That's what was used for the ranking. And we will check how it looks right now. Okay. Okay, so what I see already is that there are two errors that are found. And so we have two empty buttons. Where are these empty buttons? That's the question. I don't really find it when I click on it. It's supposed to work that when we click, you can see it. But maybe it's just here. No. Hmm. It's really hard to see it, but maybe they are hidden. So what I mean by hidden, sometimes you write a code and you just put, these symbols to hide it so that visually they are not accessible. But if they're visually not accessible, they're still accessible for the tools that check your code, because it doesn't disappear from the code. It's not written that please don't check these lines. So everything that is in the code will be checked. And so maybe they have two empty buttons, but they are hidden. Like somehow I don't really see. Yeah, I'm sorry. This, so I don't see it. Like where is it in the code? Like for example, any other element. Like if I go here, like I can just go and click to find out, like in the code, where is this problem. Like for example, here you see you can have reference, you can have a code. So this is about actually element, the heading. And what I want to take a look at while we're here, like first, it's really hard. So we have a huge navigation menu that really, you can see that it takes away 50% of the screen. So it's a little bit hard to take a look. But what I see is that what I want to take a look at is are the images. Like for example, here I like in this section at the bottom, I don't see alternative text for the images. Usually it's written like, and here, for example, like I don't see it. I see that, for example, there are icons, and the icons, they so all the icons, I think they have the same alternative text. It's written that nearby image has the same alternative text. Let's take a look at the code because it's really hard to see here. Okay. Yeah, so alternative text icon. This is not a good practice. Even though they have alternative text, like first you need to see what is this icon? Is it clickable? Is it meaningful? I mean, they have the text to explain what is there. So I think it's, I really don't see behind this, sorry, behind this navigation menu, which is this icon. But here you can see that, yeah, so these are just three people. It's for the research, so proud member of our university. So we are among the nation's top research universities. Do we really need this icon? Is it how important it is for representation of information? I think it can be hidden for a screen reader. We don't need people like if you have multiple icons for some interesting information, text information. Screen reader, if you just have alternative text icon, so it will pronounce icon, 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 icon for each of these elements, which doesn't really help understanding what is there and why it is there. I think it can be hidden. So if it would be just, for example, visually hidden, the area element and the alternative text here for the icons, I think it should be nothing, but it shouldn't be icon because we don't want to increase cognitive load for people with the screen reader. So here, I think this is for sure accessibility mistake about this, but I still don't see, like, for example, yeah, the image here, you can see that there is alternative text, this green part, but alternative text says block you. So technically we have alternative text for the image, but it's like, if you just close your eyes and you hear block, what you will think about. Like, it's impossible to understand what exactly is on the image, and actually just the logotype of the university. That's what should be written there instead of block U. So I think that there is a problem with the meaning of alternative text here. It's not really correct, and it doesn't help understanding understanding of the information. But here, like, I just noticed that, okay, so for the so we have an image. So some, I'm sorry, I will just check. Yeah, so some icons, they have in this section about the facts of University of Utah. So they have alternative text icon, but the last one, for example, has an empty alternative text. I don't understand why some icons, they have alternative text that is actually wrong, and it actually just increase in cognitive load, so it's bad to use this technique. And some, they have empty alternative text, which would be great here. Is it visually hidden as well? I would love to check. So no, it's not visually hidden. I don't see this parameter. If I would work on this webpage, for sure on this section, I would for sure hide it visually, like hide it, sorry, not visually, but hide it for the screen reader, because it doesn't provide information by itself. And especially it doesn't provide any information if we just write that it's icon. It's impossible to understand what it is. So here are social network icons, and here it's really hard. Like, so I see we have multiple, so it's a section with social media, and I will just take a look if it's embed iframe, what we have. I'm just curious, like, what do they use? Yes, they have iframe. What is the problem about iframe? Iframe, that's something like it's an element that is not so good, like according to web accessibility, because even if you have problems like about color contrast, the videos, like the images, you cannot really make it better, improve it, because iframe just some element that is like piece of code that is embedded in your web page, and you don't have control over it. That's the problem. So you can write to the website saying that I have these web accessibility issues, but at the end, you are not in control. But you will be the one who will be responsible for web accessibility of your website. So there is a problem in this area, and I would really suggest, if possible, not to use iframes from the websites. If it's a big website like Twitter, Instagram, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that their iframes are web accessible. This is important to note. Okay, so here, so we go through a big section of social networks. Okay. Yeah, here, so I see alternative text. And there is one thing that I would really like to take a look at, like, for example, heading structure. So I use the extension HeadingsMap to take a look. Okay, well, I would say this look gorgeous. I'm happy to look at such heading structure because we can see that everything is very clean. They have H1 heading, they have everything structured in the right way. It looks amazing. I don't even remember last time when I saw such good heading structure. I wanted to say, like, when I was saying such a good heading structure, I made some pause because I noticed something bad. Like, this is not good. So in the social media section, there are multiple H3 sections. And of course, each heading should have unique name, because when we're using a screen reader, so people, they will go through the headings through the, like, to understand what is on the website. And here we see, oh my God, I cannot even count precisely, but like around 13 H3 titles with the same name, University of Utah, but like it's just one name, so it's connected. This is for sure a problem. So I understand that accessibility tool might say, oh my God, it looks amazing, I don't see anything red, but it's all about the meaning. And you cannot make extension think about whether it's meaningful or not. And here for sure there is a problem. So this is another problem that we see, even though it looks great. Like just like when I opened, because the social media, it was later, the section, I saw that, wow, it's incredible, informative, meaningful, right? But there are some problems. And now we'll use another extension. So accessibility insights for web, just to check, again, we're doing just express test. So I just want to take a look if they will show us if there are some mistakes, just with a short check. Okay, so they're providing, so they found 11 mistakes, 11 issues. So there are 2 issues with the button name. So again, it's about button name. So they found the same mistake as Wave accessibility tool. Also 7 issues connected to area allowed role, and 2 issues with the presentation role conflict. So if you see, I hope that you can see my image, my screen. So here you can go through the issues that this extension found. But we can see that it's not really close to 0. So it found more mistakes, more issues than Wave. And just for the last thing, I would like to go with my keyboard just to see if all the elements, they have a focus, because it's one thing to use the mouse and another thing to use the keyboard. So I will just try to use the tab and go with the tab through all the elements. Wow, so this is great. They have a button skip to content, and this I love. But we don't skip, we go through everything. I want to take a look. Okay, so we have the same focus, and it's even better because previously we didn't have this white contour around. Here we have it, so it makes it even more visual, especially with the black background. So this is great. I can click on everything, all the parts, and I like that there is an inside structure. So it makes it even better, I would say. Yes, so everything is great. Here's the, oh, because I guess I used, it still shows some problems from accessibility insights for web. Sorry, but so we're on the arrow. Then where does it go? So it goes through all the buttons, like all the slides. I hope we can go out. Now it's white. So I would say there is a problem with the keyboard navigation because I don't understand where I am. Like they show me that I'm at the link, like in the left corner of the screen, you can see that the focus is on the link Magazine UTA Edu Issues Summer 2026 built for this moment, but I didn't see this. Now we went further. Okay, now where I am, that's where the problem lies. So here is no focus at all. It was problematic already with the cursor, with the mouse, and there is a continue, like the problem stays with the keyboard. So I'm moving through these images, but you don't see that I'm moving. Just I see the link at the bottom, at the left corner of the screen is changing. So this is a big problem. Yes, here this section is not good. Oh, but now the focus appeared and we move the second turn. So this should be very confusing for people who are using assistive technologies. I mean, they will not even understand why we're going twice. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, what's going on? Where am I? Because we're just going in circles. Okay. Oh, now it started to move. So first we go through three images that we see and then we go again, but now it can turn. Oh my God. But why we cannot even see, like right now they disappeared. The images disappeared and video disappeared. Okay. So now we go down to the next section. So for sure we have a problem with the section with the videos, the carousel, and also with the carousel, which doesn't really contain errors. They're just images, and I honestly don't understand how they're moving and how I could move it as a user. But here we're with the next section, so campus news and events. I like that it's different here apart from the when I use the mouse. So here we can see focus more clearly and it's understandable. So we just have a contour, the black one for the white background, which is great. So we can move freely and there are no problems. Okay. Oh, so we don't go through the icons. So we could like put the focus like to make it visible where we are with the mouse, but we don't really go through the elements there, probably because they're not interactive, but it's really strange when there is a difference, like difference of interaction between the time when we're using the mouse and the time when we're using the keyboard. We need to think about that all the users should be able to access the same content in the same way. So here, the social media interaction. Okay. It's a little bit strange. I don't understand. Like, for example, right now, I don't understand where. Oh, okay. There's a link. Um, I think there are too many things, but I understand that there's a lot of focus on what's going on, but um, oh my God. So yeah, we go through all of them. So middle section now. Now the third section, but somehow it becomes just invisible. They disappear for some time. Um, Load more doesn't contain the color. Well, I didn't see the way it was changing. So we go in the middle. It's a little bit not logic for me that right now, so the first thing in the footer that you access, it's a logotype of university, which I understand that this is like the thing that they want to put attention on the first. But in this case, it's supposed to be on the left. I mean, we're going from the left to right. That's the focus order. But here we go to the middle, then we jump to the left. I would say it's a logical focus order here. That's how I would see this. So here at least, so we can move through all the interactive elements. Again, the logo type. I'm surprised that this is accessible for me. It's like it's really hard to read this light gray on dark gray. But the accessibility tools, they didn't find any mistake. Okay. So we just went through the web page that is considered in top 5 the most accessible web pages according to WebAIM report. I would say that there are a lot of problems and it's not as good as it might sound with just 2 issues found with the Wave accessibility tool. We just took a look at how it works practically for a user. And to be honest, I would say that there are a lot of problems that shouldn't be. I really love this skip to the content button. I loved the pause the slides button. This is great. But apart from this, to be honest, I didn't see anything extraordinary that I would advise my clients to use in order to become more accessible. But it's up to you. So please leave a comment if you saw something that I didn't notice, or if you liked something specifically on this webpage. I would really love to know your opinion. Thank you very much for being here with me to check this webpage. Bye.